for GP2. Jennifer, welcome back. We're eager to hear what you have to tell us tonight. Okay, super.
Hello. I'm coming over here because I put together a presentation for you.
Thank you.
And I did want to say thank you because this is my second meeting in a row. And anytime something exciting, I'll probably just run up for public comment if it's okay. Just be like, this exciting thing is happening. Get out of the door. But tonight I did want to take a minute to explain a little bit more about what is going on in adult ed on a little bit deeper level. So Zach, give us another, let's see if we can get ahead on this. He's helping me out because I put it together as a video, and that makes it challenging. But we've got Zach, so he's going to help us. Okay, so first, I just want to share that adult education has 3 audiences, and I'm not sure everyone's aware of that. First is our high school senior, 17 and up. That means that those high school students actually have a larger curriculum available to them through adult ed. Without having to hire someone that you're paying benefits, it's like this nice add-on where I hired the person as a contracted service, and high school students can take advantage of that opportunity. So it's a nice savings for the school district, but it also gives opportunities for our high school students. Our second audience includes those who have graduated, and we want to scoop them up and give them a home when they maybe haven't decided on college or career yet. So those graduates can come back, or anyone in the community who's looking to maybe refocus their career choice, and take a welding class, take LNA, try phlebotomy, do something fun, and then we can support them in the same way their high school did in their community. So that's an important piece of adult ed because some students just leave high school and they're not quite sure yet what they want to do. So adult ed can be there to support them. The third audience that we have is the community, and you'll notice we went from a culinary arts class, which was a huge success. We have a dumpling class coming up. We have a wreath making class coming up, and then we have plenty of people retired and other people in the community who took our welding class, and that part of the community gets to see what's going on at the tech center, and we think that that's pretty awesome. So we are open to all 3 audiences, and that's who we support, and those are the people we would like to serve through adult ed. We also have 3 models that I wanted you guys to hear about. One is, of course, we have all in person. So when you're welding, that is not online. Yay. All right? And neither is LNA. But there are online opportunities also. So we have in person. We also have 100% online. I'll talk about that a little bit later. And then the third model is online hybrid with clinical time. So I'd like to use dental assisting as an example. If you wanted to become a dental assistant, it's open enrollment. You could call me up tomorrow. We could get you started. Want to wait till after the holidays? We'll start you January 2nd. It doesn't really matter, but I have dentists, a little shout out to White River Smiles Dentistry, as well as other dentists that I've met with who are really excited to collaborate with the online model and work with me to get students clinical hours so they can actually fully become a registered dental assistant. So that model is something that I want people to know about that they might not know. All right, there are also grants and scholarships. Adult ed is not free. So you'll see that like LNA has a price tag of $1,900. Some people look at that and they're like, oh my goodness. But there's a lot of money and a lot of scholarships out there, and I would say that 3/4 of our upcoming LNA class, the class is completely free, provided by grants and scholarships. So please don't let the price tag hold you back on that. All right, let's see, Zach, if we can go to the next one. All right. Let's talk about the workforce training that we're doing. So we've seen 72 students so far from July to now. And again, this is when I started. Aaron teed me up really well, so this is not all my work, but we thank him. But we are projected to hit about 145. That's students coming through or trainings that we're doing or collaborating with others between July and June total. This gives you an idea of some of the enrollments, and these are not all based on a cap of 30. For example, LNA was full, so each of these has a different enrollment cap, but you can see that we've offered LNA, welding, a culinary class, Vermont Works for Women, Microsoft Excel, Reese, electrical one, which we are starting. We're doing police training, O'Reilly training, Vermont Rural Water, Ed2Go, which is our online model. So I wanted you to see the variety of things that we're doing, so that you can kind of get a sense of what this encompasses. All right, next. Zach, you're doing great, by the way. Thank you. Okay. I wanted to highlight our instructors. This piece of our presentation highlights how the instructors really make adult ed what it is. So we have instructors for Trailblazers. You can meet Lance. He teaches during the day here at the Tech Center. This is Chef Jessica Williams. She teaches culinary arts. She also did work in the day program last year. These are two local advisors, Steve Richard and Pete Henderson, who are helping us get the electrical program up and running. And so you saw Jeff Dumont for Excel, and we had Aaron Masteller for welding. And in adult ed, the instructor piece is a little bit different from a regular contract, right? So the only way that this instructor gets to teach the class is if we have enrollment. So I wanted to say that this is a shout out because some of our instructors are working all day and then they're working for me at night. And that's a lot, but they make it happen and we really appreciate it. So I wanted to say that. Zach, are you able to back up just a tad, just for one quick thing? Yeah, let's hit this one for a second. But back just quickly on the instructors, and I'm almost done. On the instructor level, anyone who wants to teach for us, the deal is you provide your expertise, right? Check references, things like that. We offer the course. We push hard to advertise it, and the board and others who are listening can really help us out with this. So there are 3 ways to support us. One is by telling everybody that you know what we do, because it's amazing how many people wouldn't even know that we have adult ed. 2, take a class if you can, because then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I took this class. And then 3rd, if you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, I believe I have 18 followers. Yeah, that's embarrassing. Yep, but we are new. So Instagram and Facebook, if you could follow us, because that helps us very much with spreading the word. If you see that there's a class that maybe you can attend, maybe you could share that with others and really get the word out. Ed2Go, this is our online portal. So this is worth a shout out because the nice thing with Ed2Go is they do help out our district when we utilize Ed2Go. So for anyone who does want to do like professional development from their couch, this is a great option. And this is also what we use for our hybrid model. So they do deserve a shout out. All right, Zach, one more time through to the end. All right, so we have a great website. Thank you, Tessa Johnson. Visit us on our website. Also check out, you can email me or call, whatever it takes to get a hold of me. We would love to hear what's going on, like what you would like to see for courses. And I just appreciate the time tonight because we're excited to grow and to be here to support education at all ages and levels. So thank you.
Thank you. Jennifer, when I was in high school, many years back when the dinosaurs were still roaming, I took a class through my high school to learn how to become a dental hygienist. Be a dental assistant, and then went into a dental hygienist, and I did that for 7 years. Yeah, and so that was in a very long time ago. So I loved it when you said the dentists are eager to help you with that, and yeah, I would leave and go to the dental office, and it was a pedodontist, and he had hearing aids. And when the children were back in the rooms, now remember this was way back in the 60s, and they would be screaming their little lungs out, and he'd just reach up and turn his hearing aids off. I said, wait a minute, that's not fair. But it's a great program. It really was. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that we're there's a need for it.
And yes, and before I head out, do you have any questions for me about adult ed?
I'll just add to that because I do have a senior. I've been going through the VSAC book of scholarships and just noticed in there that there were multiple scholarship opportunities offering between $18,000 and $22,000 for dental hygienist programs.
Yeah.
So there's definitely money out there for these programs.
And there are also employers that will support those activities as well. And that's been ongoing for years. When I taught adult ed, we had scholarships even then. So, and a lot of them were employer driven.
Right. Thank you. Thanks very much. We appreciate that.
And great job. Great job. Both to you and Aaron.
Next, we're going to be reporting out on the redistricting task force. Kevin, would you like to get that started?
Um, I guess to quickly move along, it's been front and center in the news, so I think a lot of people are aware that the recommendation that is moving uh, seems to be moving out of the committee is one of um uh, voluntary merging, of districts and sharing um services within regions. That's the biggest takeaway and the most controversial as well, because the governor's not happy with that at the moment. So that's the jumping off point, I guess, Nance.
Yeah, I've been attending their meetings too, and it's really interesting. I have to agree with one of the two co-chairs there, Martine, and saying that she thinks that they did the right thing by not sending the maps out to the governor and to going in a whole different, they didn't just say, we don't think this is going to work and we don't have enough time to do this and it's unfair to everybody concerned, and just dropped it. When they got to that point, and I'm using my words, not theirs, but about what they meant, they did send to him another solution. And so they didn't just say, no, this is not okay, and dropped it right there. They did already they'd worked together and put in many hours and did come up with another solution, which I think is outstanding. So we'll wait and see what happens with that, because as we all know, it seems to change on an hourly basis anymore.
We did include the 168-page proposal from the redistricting task force in the folder. So if anyone's looking for a deeper dive, it's in there. Not in the packets, because that's a lot of pages.
It's a lot of paper.
Yeah, that's a lot of reading. Thank you. And report out on the AOE Strategic Planning Retreat. Katie, that's you.
Thanks. So I shared with Zach, who's going to pull this up on the screen. It's also in the board packets for tonight. So a few of us attended the AOE's strategic planning retreat on November 4th. So our own Jacob Vizina was there, Assistant Superintendent Aaron Tomlinson, Director of Curriculum Sarah Hisman, Director of HACTC Erica Schneider, and myself all were in attendance. Erica Schneider, Sarah Hisman, and I attended the all-day session on proficiency-based graduation requirements. And I spent a good amount of time this morning with our administrative council going over what the state proposed to us. And one thing that is really important, I think, to recognize is that perhaps even more impactful, in my view, than the redistricting conversation is what is being proposed in terms of proficiency-based graduation requirements by the Agency of Education. The Agency of Education needs to submit their proposal to the State Board of Education in December. So it's a really tight timeline, and one of the aspects of the strategic planning retreat was to invite those of us from our respective districts to be there to look at the work that they had put together to date and to provide input. So what you're seeing up on the screen right now are the two models that they put forth. Model A, as you can see up on the screen right now, is 23.5 total credits. One One thing just of note, this was the first time that I personally had seen these proposals and handouts and documents. And I can speak for myself to say that I expected a very different presentation in that proficiency-based graduation requirements as a topic doesn't necessarily lead me to think about credits and credit acquisition. I've had to recalibrate since and think about the work that we've done, particularly in relation to our vision of a graduate and how we would overlay or kind of superimpose that upon any model that the state puts forth. So just to put it in perspective for those of you who are in attendance and anyone who views this after the fact, Hartford High School requires 26 credits of our graduates right now, with 32 opportunities through our program of studies to take advantage of our offerings. So both models, Model A is at 23.5 total credits, Model B is at 21 total credits, would basically require us as a high school, and then kind of like following it all down through middle school and what we do in our elementary schools, to do different things. So for example, if you look at Model A, you will see that there's a 2-credit requirement in world language. Right now, we don't have any requirement in world language. World language would be considered an elective. So if you use that as an example, then you think about the implications of what we would need to do in terms of our program of study, our master schedule, our staffing, what this might look like in pre-K, you know, in our elementary, in our middle school, and in our high school, in order to offer our students those requirements and allow that to be a flexible acquisition for them. So you'd have to think about staffing. We'd need to make sure that, you know, students had exposure, because what you'll notice too is that the requirement is not just 2 credits in world language, it's also 2 courses in the same world language. So there are implications. That's all to say. I'm using that as an example to illustrate the point that it would have great impact, and that's what I mean when I say this conversation actually is immediately impactful to the way in which we deliver education in our district. So depending upon which model is put forward, we're going to have to think really strategically about what that looks like and how that lives in our district and in our schools in a really intentional, purposeful way that is also in line with the document we've spent so much time on and envisioning what it means to graduate from Hartford High School and from Hartford schools in general. So I bring this to all of you to open up that conversation, and we spent a good amount of time with our administrators today talking through the implications and where there are challenges, where there are potential opportunities, as well as kind of putting forth some questions of clarification about, hey, let's define what this even means. The state right now, just for further edification, is defining a credit as course completion. So that also is a different way to think about a credit than I think many are used to defining it, as it applies to at least pretty orthodox traditional education. But one thing that, you know, we have been thinking a lot about is not losing that piece of like what it means to be proficient in the standards we identified, and how a student gets on those pathways with easy entry, easy transition between the different opportunities, so they're not feeling like they're stuck on a path or tracked, as it were. So really important conversation, and one that I would personally just report I was surprised by the models that were put forth, because it was not what I was expecting to see. And so I think it is leading us to kind of course correct in this district to think about how we define these things and how we can remain true to what the community is investing in us and what they expect to see from our graduates, and how we would overlay something that for all intents and purposes looks pretty traditional. happy to answer any questions that you might have. Oh, and one other note, you're also going to see in the board packet that I also wanted to include the proposal for flexible pathways. The state is also considering a flexible pathways requirement, which also would have huge implication, and they've defined that through different options. So work-based learning, early college, dual enrollment, and virtual learning. And again, those are not all the ways in which I would define a flexible pathways. So we took some time to kind of talk about that today, and also think through what it's going to take in terms of kind of auditing and inventorying what we already do and what we already offer, and how this does and does not kind of fit the models that are being put forth, at least at this moment. So at the culmination of the retreat, we were given a survey, which I sent in my district newsletter out to, all of you in the community have access to it. It's since closed. There was a pretty tight window that I did ask them to extend and got a couple more days on. But all that information you can also find in the district newsletter, all of this information. And again, as Jacob mentioned, if you want to do a deep dive, there's a lot more to this. But what I wanted to provide for you all tonight are at least the handouts we were given that lay out these two different models of credits, and also the flexible pathways requirement proposal. Happy to answer questions.
Do you have any questions? Anybody out there in the audience have any questions of Katie? That's a whole lot of information.
I know.
Wow. No, don't be sorry, please. Thank you for
Going on.
sharing it. Yeah. Jacob, draft
Okay.
1, budget.
All right, so we're here with draft 1 of the budget, which I always like to preface that each budget is a snapshot in time. So obviously, we don't have a lot of the numbers from the state yet, so I'm just giving kind of that 40,000-foot view of what we're projecting as the kind of known expenses. We're in the middle of negotiating all 3 of our contracts. But preliminarily, we have the administrator negotiated contract at a $92,220 increase for the FY27 budget. The teacher contract is $494,015, and then the salary step increase for the teachers is about $307,667. Support staff increase about $110,457, and then we have the preliminary numbers for the health insurance increase, and that's looking like $454,462. Obviously, rates are subject to be final and approved, but we should know by January. And then some of the other things: $77,000 increase in contracted services. We have a $105,400 increase for software. We have about a $100,000 increase for our server. It's reaching the end of its lifespan, and when it comes to data integrity and Wi-Fi, I would rather not risk it. So for me, that's a pretty crucial option. We have a little bit more of a increase in our facilities repairs at a little over $167,000. There's been a lot of stuff this year, and unfortunately, those needs are just not going away anytime soon. We have about $82,000 increase for transportation. Again, that's another need that seems to just be expanding greatly. And then about a $23,500 increase in our property and liability insurance. So as of now, we're a little bit over $2 million for the general fund FY27 increase.
Thank you. For some of the people that are in our audience may not realize, we will be getting fairly soon what we call a December the 1st letter. Jacob, would you like to just give a brief explanation as to what that is?
Sure.
We won't just completely surprise them.
So the December 1st letter comes from the state, which basically, we've been supplying the state with all of our preliminary budget increase numbers, and the state's been running that through the Plato Fun Factory to give us some preliminary numbers. So based on that, the legislature, will generate some preliminary yields with the JFO. And then, of course, this is be the second year that we get the draft of our CLA, but obviously with the reappraisal done, that should be fairly stable.
Okay, thank you.
And the letter formally comes from the state treasurer's office.
That's true. Thanks, Kevin. DQS, self-assessment, governance. If you were at our last board meeting, we covered the first two district quality standards. We are doing a self-evaluation. This goes back to the state. The state will put all of the districts are having to do this. And so then once they get it all together, they're going to use this kind of as a baseline. So nobody's going to have to do anything this time. And then next year, every year, we will do another self-evaluation. So we, as I said, at the last board meeting, we went through, what was it? Practices and priorities. So we just need to go through the,
May I just interrupt you?
absolutely, please do, while I dig for my paper.
Because I think we have one of our applicants here, and that was the next agenda item, so.
Well, then let's do
maybe
that
we
much
could
better. That's much better. That's
Do that,
much
so
better.
Mr. Hill can.
Absolutely, I like that much better. Sorry, I just skipped right over.
For our next agenda item,
Pardon me?
our next, for the town and school.
Yes, thank you. We have Jason Hill, right? Okay, Jason is with us. Jason, so this is kind of a new item for us as a board to sit down and talk about. And we've got one other applicant that's going to come. Jason is going to, these are appointments. I know I'm stumbling, I'm sorry. These are appointments that are made by the board. We had two people applied, and Jason was one of them, and he is going to be for the 3-year term, and it is for the school and the town committee. And Jason, would you like to get up and tell us a little bit about why you would like to do this? And tell us a little bit about you, just so we know.
Certainly. Thank you, Nancy, and folks at the board. Yeah, my name is Jason Hill. I am a 10-year resident of White River Junction. My wife and I live right across the street. I walk my 6-year-old and 10-year-old son down the hill every morning to the White River School. I'm a local ecologist here for a nonprofit, the Vermont Center for Eco Studies, and professor at the University of Vermont in the Rubenstein School. Since we moved here 10 years ago, I've volunteered in numerous capacities for the community and especially for the school. Recently also serving on the superintendent search committee as a public member at large, frequent volunteer at the White River School. My wife and I manage the community garden. My wife is the chair of the Conservation Commission. We're very civically minded people. I'm looking for opportunities to further help our community.
Okay.
I've been volunteering at the town meeting and the elections under Lisa O'Neill and Chuck Worcester for the last decade.
See you there every year. Does the board have any, or Katie or Jacob have anything that they would like to ask Jason about?
Just so grateful.
I was gonna say,
Yes.
I'd just like to say thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yes, Kevin.
I would as well. To jump right in and be part of the community the way he has says a lot about he and his family.
Thank you, Coach.
Absolutely. We appreciate it. And later on in the consent agenda, Katie's going to make the official appointment for you. Okay, we invite you to stay. Hear the ramblings of some more people, my being one of them. Okay, now you got me going. And Allie is not here yet, but she should be here shortly. And when she gets here, we will stop me again, okay?
Okay.
And then we'll get Allie to be able to give her a little introduction about herself. Now then, we're going back to the DQS, or, yes. So, board members. Evan, have you got copies of this from last time? Have you still got your copies? So 2025 is going to be the beta test for these quality assurances that we are doing a self-assessments on. 2025 in winter, the state of the state report on quality standard self-assessment trends. 2026 spring will develop and or refine quality standard self-assessment rubrics, develop technical assistance and training based on these test data. In the fall of 2026, implementation of the DQS 130 quality assurance in total, and 2026 in the winter will be the first publication of SUSD quality standard reviews. So that's basically, we just need as a board to go over these fairly quickly, and then our wonderful superintendent will make all of it go to where it needs to be going tomorrow. Let me find 2, 2, 3. Okay. So we're going to do just like we did last time. Is that okay with you? I will read what it is, and then we as a board have marked where we think we are, and we can discuss it at that point and see if there's any things that, any procedures are that we would like to change so that we can go to a proficient standard versus just a beginning or approaching. So 113.3 governing, 113.1. 113.2. Hold on, we've only got a few thousand pages here. Pardon? Okay, get that? Allie. Hi. Good timing. We'll give you time to take off your jacket if you'd like, and then could just come up and give us, the board, maybe a little brief description of why you're wanting to be on this committee and a little bit about yourself that they may not know, if you don't mind. Catch your breath. I know you can do it.
Everyone. Hello, Intrepid School Board. It's nice to see you all. Hello, I'm just warming up. It's colder than I was expecting this evening. So, my name is Ali Chafenjan, or Chufengchian. Either pronunciation's good with me. And what do I say about myself? I am a Virgo. I'm a cat person, and I love this community. I've been here for just over 6 years, and I moved here right before the COVID-19 pandemic. So through that, got involved in some volunteer efforts, mutual aid efforts to deliver food to folks and grocery shop for immunocompromised folks. And through that, really got to see some of the best parts of Hartford. Folks really showing up for each other, caring for each other in a really difficult time. And through that, got connected to some local government opportunities. So learned about the select board, ran for the select board, was on the board for 3 years, one of the most challenging and rewarding opportunities of my life, truly. And through that, really firsthand understood, as you all know really well, on the school board as well, what it's like to be a decision maker and really see the direct impact that you have, positive, negative, everything in between, on the community. And so that's what I'm really excited about kind of dipping back into in the town and school meeting committee is, helping folks get access to information, first and foremost, to know what things are going on, to know how and why they should be engaging. For instance, the fact that town meeting day, if you want to, show up for those votes and have your voice heard, you've got to come to the floor vote, say yay or nay, majority vote, and really be there. And so just to explain to folks about how that process works. And then, dare I say, I'm really interested also in reinfusing some joy into the democratic process. I'll speak for myself. I think our democracy is being stressed and tested and stretched right now. And there's folks who are feeling some fear, anxiety, disenfranchisement. Like, if I show up, will it even matter? And that's really real. And so I'm excited to hopefully bring a little bit of joy and welcome and belonging into that process. So showing up to town meeting day isn't just like all right, I'm going to show up on a really, typically very cold Saturday, do my civic duty, or a Tuesday to the polls and do my civic duty, but to also be excited about gathering with folks, hearing what's going on in the community, and really being engaged. So through my select board experience, through some community engagement and leadership development, professional experience, I have some experience already putting together an ad hoc voter guide last year, which I'd be excited to do again this year. I think I have plenty to offer and would be excited and honored to be part of the committee. So happy to answer any questions or hear ideas you have for me too.
Thanks, Ally.
Yeah.
Any questions of Ally?
Again, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And once again, these are appointments, so there's no vote or anything that has to be done. We've accepted your applications, and you're doing the 2-year, right?
2-year, yeah.
Jason's gonna graciously is doing the 3-year. And so towards the end, down here under the consent agenda, we will be
And thank you again, Ally,
yeah.
for all of your contributions.
Yeah, thank you all.
We appreciate it.
That was the easiest interview I've ever had. Thank you.
Thank you.
We try not to
much.
make it too painful.
You're more than welcome to stay. 23. Okay. So we're going to go to 113.3, governance processes. The board of each SUSD and, if applicable, of each member school district within the SU establishes and follows inclusive, transparent, and predictable methods to conduct its work. The board discusses, adopts, and revises policies on a regular basis to ensure the system is supporting and meeting the needs of every student. And what did you think? Where did you think we were?
I had marked us as approaching, is what I thought.
So did I.
And really, that was, where I was thinking we were maybe could say that we were proficient is because I am unaware of an established system for annual policy review that incorporates it into our annual work plan. That wasn't really something we discussed in our annual work plan. And not all of our policies have been reviewed in the last 5 years.
Correct. Okay, so we're going to put that on approaching. Okay. And the next one is standard 113.3.2. The board ensures its annual budget aligns with its stated priorities and provides an equitable distribution of resources to help meet the needs and goals of every student. What do you think?
I had marked us at beginning.
And why is that?
I think, we are considering how the budget aligns with district priorities, but I guess I just didn't see specific policies related to budgeting and financial oversight.
Okay. Kevin, what do you think?
It's constantly approaching.
I put approaching. I had marked proficient, but then I went back and looked and changed my answer to approaching earlier today when I was looking at these again. For the ones that were not here at the last time, I'm sorry, I'm backtracking here. We read the standard, we have a rubric that the first block is beginning and there's certain criteria that has to be met. The next block is approaching, which has to have everything met in the beginning block before you can go into the approaching, and then it goes proficient, and then it goes advanced. Once again, this is giving them the state guidelines, so we know what we need to be doing or working on, and the state will be more than happy to tell us what, and we will graciously accept it. Standard 113.3.3. The board ensures its members are aware of conditions set forth in negotiated agreements and contracts. What you think?
My papers are a little discombobulated here.
Page
'Cause
26, if that helps.
I had taken the staple out.
I know, when they gave us all these, they all look the same too, don't they?
They do. Oh, here's some more. That's 6. You can go
Page
ahead and just
26.
where you're at.
I put approaching.
Oh, yes.
Did you also?
I went beginning.
Both?
approaching.
Okay. Kevin, how about you?
Approaching.
Okay. Then we'll move right along. Standard 113.3.4. The board ensures its members understand and comply with Vermont statutes and regulations relevant to board work and public education. I have a big question mark. What about you?
And I said approaching.
Well, I've got that's where the question mark is. How about you, Kevin?
That too is approaching because there's so much instability in the policy in Title 16 anyways.
Yep. Okay, thank you. See how fast this was, Katie? Standard 113.3.5, the board stays appraised of proposed legislation and policy making that may affect its school system and students.
I felt that we were proficient.
Okay, that's interesting. Kevin, what do you think?
Approaching.
And I put beginning, so. Only, I did that because beginning is, the board is at beginning proficient if the following conditions are true. The majority of the board members are unaware of proposed legislation or regulations that may affect Vermont's public education system. We, this year, we've really been trying to, Kevin and I both have been really trying to get that kind of information out into the hands and the ears of everyone who is listening to us so that they have more knowledge of that and what's going on with it. I don't think that the board reviews new laws and regulations after the legislation session concludes. And I think that's really a goal of my personal goal is to be able to do that and go over these, what's happened in the legislature, and that's why, legislation. And that's why Kevin and I have been trying to keep that really up front so that we would be doing that. And that's the reason that I didn't feel that we went past approaching. That was just my view.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else to say about this one?
No, I mean, I was thinking proficient because at least one board member is responsible for tracking applicable legislation and keeping the board updated, which I feel Coach does a great job with that. And at our, I mean, I feel that, you know, the information with new proposed legislation is coming out all the time, and I know you're always sharing with us through VSBA what's coming out, so that we are informed,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe we're not reviewing it in a more systematic way. So to keep us in that approaching
Yeah.
position.
I think it's really important that when we're looking at this legislation too, and when Kevin or I bring it to you, that we look at it, how is it affecting our students? If we do this, and if we're agreeing with what the legislators are saying, then how is it affecting our students here in Hartford? And I think we could do a better job of asking ourselves that question and then following through with it, whether it's writing letters, sending emails, holding a public forum, whatever we do, so that we can get the information out to our community. Kevin, you've got anything else on that one?
No, I think it's pretty much been said in the sense that, you know, it's a work in progress.
Absolutely.
You know, just because it always is, and you figure that's one of the few statutes that has two books. You know, when you look at an attorney's wall and you see the statutes as annotated, most of them are in one volume.
Mm-hmm.
Title 16 is in two, which is the one that governs education.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of a message in itself.
Okay, thank you. Last one is standard 113.3.6. The board maintains an ongoing relationship with locally elected officials. What do you think?
I had marked us at approaching
Okay,
because we have a locally elected official on the board.
right there he is.
That qualified and met that standard.
That's true. We do have that, and we are very thankful that we have Kevin on our board with us, because in all the years that I have been on this board, Kevin has been very gracious in directing and being my mentor, so that I could get more involved in it and to learn more about it. I think that it's, again, really, really important that we as a board start I feel, you know, this is not the board speaking, folks, out in video land. This is me. I think that we need to be more involved in what's going on. We need to be more and more aware. And again, once again, because it does affect our kids. It affects our students, what's going on up in Montpelier. That's it. I'll stop.
Well, I think too, since we have added to our agenda, just board member report out,
Yes.
that, we might also consider ourselves proficient if coach is, on meetings under that agenda item,
Mm-hmm.
communicating with us especially during the legislative session, what's happening. I think could be considered proficient there as well.
Okay, thank you. That's it. Get a report. Good tonight.
So you're changing it to proficient then?
Pardon me?
One?
You want to put it at proficient, Kevin? What do you think?
I'm more leaning towards progress, not perfection. If that's an answer.
Still approaching. Thank you.
Yeah,
Got it.
thank you. Thank you for letting us get through that. Policy work. Two of our board members are obviously not here for taking care of some family situations. So we do not read the entire policy out. And so we do need to vote on approval of C13, students who are homeless. Do I have a motion to accept that or to make that an approval policy?
So moved.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Okay, and it carries. Excuse me, we have another approval for B22, public complaints about personnel. Do I have a motion to approve it?
So moved?
I have a second.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And it is approved. We are warning C4 English learners. Is a copy of that in?
It's included
Yeah,
in the packet.
All right, so it's in the packet, so you will have an opportunity to read it yourself. And so this will just be the first warning, and at our next board meeting, then we will vote on whether it's an approved policy or not. Monitoring report, B, SR2, unity of control. Kevin,
I'll have that for the next meeting.
that'll be just fine. Thank you.
But if I may take, that moment just
Absolutely.
as a quick update, because people, have been, curious about our progress with, not only the budget work, but negotiations. We have actively started the negotiation process as an update. We've had 2 meetings thus far. We have another upcoming meeting coming up on Monday, and so it's progressing, and all of the budget work, preliminary budget work, is going on, as well as the auditors are in the building. It's kind of like Elvis, and they haven't left the building yet. So that's just a quick update from an assignment perspective.
Kevin. We go to the consent agenda, section 4, policy GP4.
Public comment.
Public comment. Boy, I'm trying to get through this meeting. It is time for public comment. The board welcomes public comments in order to accommodate as many community members' voices as possible. Anyone making a comment will be given 2 minutes to speak. This is not a time for discussion, but the board is interested in hearing comments, concerns, and suggestions from the public. Do we have any public comments? None online? Okay. Now can I go to the consent agenda? I've been trying all night to get to that place, isn't it? So, Katie, how about appointments, resignations, and retirements?
Well, we have 2 appointments to the Town and School Meeting Committee. We have Jason Hill and we have Ally Tefenchen.
Any resignations or retirement?
None today.
Okay. Welcome aboard.
I have a correction.
Okay.
The appointment should be Joshua Barker, not Barker. That was corrected online by Tessa Johnson because she's someone from the Wilder School who knew what the gentleman's name was.
Thank
So
goodness.
it may or may not be names in different places on the website, but it should be Joshua Barker.
Barker with the B.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Are we going to go with the proposed executive session for labor relations agreements with employees? Kevin?
Being that the other negotiator isn't here, I don't think that it would be needed.
Okay, you okay? Okay, thank you, Kevin. Our next board meeting is the 3rd of December, right here, and starts at 6 o'clock. Meeting evaluation. Yes, please.
The board was prepared for the meeting, satisfactory. The board's time was spent on ends, not means, satisfactory. Each board member was given an opportunity to participate, satisfactory. Board treated all persons with courtesy and fairness, satisfactory. Board adhered to Robert's Rules of Order, satisfactory. Board adhered to its adopted governance style. It emphasized outward vision. It encouraged diversity in viewpoints. It exercised strategic leadership, not administrative detail. It maintained distinction between board and staff roles. It used collective decision-making. It looked forward to the future, all satisfactory.
Okay, thank you. I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, that needs no second, and we are adjourned. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon.